All right, we're back. Ink DFS here with another NBA DFS picks video. Had a little bit of break last night with a nice short 3 game slate. Nice little break from our massive slates we've been seeing recently. But we get a kind of a medium sized slate here tonight on a Sunday. Before we hop right into it, um, again, make sure if you guys like this video and find it helpful anyway, go ahead and drop another like down below and subscribe to the channel. Helps me keep pumping these videos out for you guys and it helps this channel grow. I greatly appreciate it. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. First guy on the list here, we have Klay Thompson, currently in a good game environment, sitting at a 227 over under. No Curry for the Warriors. He's out due to a foot injury he suffered last time out, which leaves behind a hefty offensive workload to go around for this Warriors team. Klay could be one of the biggest beneficiaries of this hefty offensive workload left behind. In the last game that Curry got hurt in, last time out versus the Celtics, Klay had an insane usage rate of about 37%, and he put up 24 shots in only 33 minutes, with 11 of those shots being threes. If he has that kind of shot attempts and that kind of usage rate, it gives him an insane floor, especially at a guy at 7,000. Um, Another bonus here on top of Klay, he could be in store for extended minutes from what we've been seeing him play recently. He's been playing over 30 minutes for quite a while now, and he got up to 33 minutes in that blowout game versus the Celtics. And Coach Steve Kerr and the Warriors could definitely rely on him a bit more, with him being a big offensive weapon and being kind of the only offensive weapon left with Curry down. So he could definitely be in store for extended minutes from here on out. Next guy on our list here, we have Jayson Tatum. Another game with a healthy game total, currently sitting at 221. Also has one of the tightest spreads on the slate. This also features a matchup between two pretty good teams, so this could easily set up as a pretty back and forth matchup that I could see could easily go over on the total here. Tatum has been playing very well as of late, with some of the most recent games being blowouts. His price kind of dipped down with the result of that, but even in those blowout games, he's been turning in value pretty easily. He's been averaging about 45 points in those two blowout games, and that's easy enough for 5 times value here. So if this game, for whatever reason, does turn into a blowout, he should have a relatively safe floor. Um, but in those non-blowout games, we've seen Tatum really let loose. He's been averaging about at least 24 shot attempts in those games, with some of those games him reaching 30 shot attempts, which again is an insane scoring floor. So he has the potential to put up a crazy scoring night anytime he's out there with that many shot attempts. And with all those shot attempts, he's also making frequent trips to the free throw line as well, again raising his scoring floor. But like I said earlier, I expect this game to be pretty competitive. And in a competitive game, we can see Tatum having a pretty huge night here, not only from a fantasy point standpoint, but also a scoring standpoint. He also gets a great matchup here versus the Nuggets, as they're the fourth best matchup for small forwards over the last 15 games. Next guy on the list here, we have Wendell Carter. Gets the dream matchup versus the OKC Thunder. We've known to give up some huge games to opposing players this year. Wendell is the most attractive fantasy option in Orlando right now, as he can contribute in all areas of the floor and has shown the ability to rack up high-scoring games in the past. We have Cole Anthony out there who kind of disappears a lot. Mo Bamba, who they don't give a lot of minutes to. Mo Wagner is pretty good. Excuse me, Franz Wagner is also another pretty good option, but he doesn't do much outside of scoring. So Wendell is definitely the guy I'm liking here for Orlando tonight. This spot also offers some pretty good defensive upside, as the Thunder have been giving up defensive stats to bunches to opposing bigs, in particular blocks. And as we know, Wendell is a guy who can rack up blocks and does a pretty good job blocking shots himself. On top of just knowing how good of a matchup this is against OKC, the numbers back it up as well, as this is the number one best matchup for power forwards over the last 15 games. And with Wendell playing power forward, he should definitely have a field day here against his poor OKC team. Next guy on the list here, we have Nikola Jokic. He was featured in our last video out, and he did very well, dropping a near 30-point triple-double. I believe he was 2 assists shy of the triple-double, but certainly did very well. I believe that totaled up to about 61 Fanduel points. So definitely a game we would be happy with from Jokic. Like I mentioned previously in that video, we know we're going to get out of Jokic. He's going to come in, night out, put up a monster stat line. If it's not a near triple-double, it's an insane high-scoring game, whether it be 40, 50 real-life points. So definitely a guy who comes out and has a chance to be the highest-scoring player on the slate any given time he's on it. This is also another piece from that aforementioned Celtics and Nuggets game that I believe is going to be very competitive tonight. He also gets a nice matchup against Celtics here. It appears that the Celtics are kind of a tough matchup for bigs here, but looking back over their last 5 games, they've allowed 4 of the 5 centers they faced to exceed value, and with the only one not exceeding value was Dwight Powell, who only played 23 minutes in their matchup. But most noticeably, during that span, in their last game out, they let Domantas Sabonis put up a 63.5 point game in a blowout game, but he still was able to rack up 30 points and 20 rebounds versus the Celtics team. So if Domantas can go out there and have a field day like that, there's no reason why Jokic shouldn't be able to dominate as well. Next on our list here, probably one of my favorite plays here, we have Chris Boucher. No Fred VanVleet, no Malachi Flynn for the Raptors. No Malachi Flynn doesn't seem too substantial, but it actually is pretty substantial. That leaves another guy out of the rotation, and ever since both these guys have been out over the last 2 games, Boucher has been able to put about 30 minutes in a game and has some crazy scoring outings. In the one game that both these guards were out, Chris Boucher was there to play 29 minutes, and he scored 51.6 points. And in the other outing where both these guards were out, Chris Boucher was able to play 35 minutes and scored 42.9 fantasy points. So with both those guys out here tonight, you should definitely be in store for another 30-plus minute outing, and also could see another monster outing. This is also a good spot here for Chris Boucher from a history standpoint, as he has great history versus the 76ers. He's been averaging 46 fantasy points over the past 2 games versus the team, so he certainly has a chance to keep this trend going if he's able to see 30 minutes again. So that's going to wrap it up. If you guys like this video, go ahead and like down below, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys again. See you.